Good morning, good people. Can you hear me? Let me know in the chat if you all can hear me. I am streaming from, let's see, two pages. I'm not sure. Can you all hear me? Give me one moment. Let me do a mic check, a sound check really quickly. Okay, I am back. Good morning, you all. Good afternoon, wherever you are. I am back. I had to work on some technical issues really quickly. Not sure who I have here, but welcome, welcome, welcome. Okay, I am back. Good morning, you all. The sound is working. Good morning, family. Hi, good morning, Killer Doll. Welcome. Thank you for joining me. How you doing? How are you? I appreciate the support. I love you for your support, beloved. I have some things on the agenda today that we're going to get into. But before I do that, we have to do a mic check, y'all.
Phone
Is
is
my mic
on.
on?
Phone is on.
Is my mic on? Mic check, mic check. Let me know if my mic is
My
on before
microphone
I
is
start
on.
talking. Oh, that's wonderful to hear. I am blessed and highly favored. Blessed and highly favored. That's how I'm doing. All right. As long as my mic is on, we can get started. Thank you. I appreciate you all for being my co-host today, letting me know I am doing well. I hope that you and your families have been well. If you have not been aware, I had to take some time off. I am in the state of Florida. I am in Central Florida. And I think the last time I was here, it was before Hurricane Milton touched down. And we were basically getting ready for that. I will say I did not expect the impact that I incurred um, because I'm typically missed by the hurricanes, but that was not the case this time. They say this little old town I stay in, the last time the eye of the hurricane came this close was in 1880. Was in 1880. That's the last time the eye of a hurricane came this close um, to this particular town, which is amazing. You know, the eye of the hurricane probably touched down maybe a mile and a half away from me. So I did get a lot of wind gusts, which we always expect to get wind gusts here. Um, so that, and a lot of people don't understand when there's a storm, you have the actual storm, you have the aftermath, then you have the recovery. All of it is impactful. And so a lot of the occurrences that people have is in the aftermath. So what you all probably saw on the news was all the flooding, all the dilapidated homes and buildings. That's the aftermath. And in the aftermath, there are so many things taking place at one time, meaning people don't have access to services, they don't have access to water, electricity, food, transportation. Transportation was huge because trees were laying down in the middle of the road. So a lot of us were just in standstill until the municipalities and the help from other states came to remove the trees out of the roadway so that emergency vehicles and the linemen can come back and restore electricity. My phone service out of the, I for whatever reason I did not have phone service at all. My phone did not work. Even my landline did not work. Give me one moment. My landline was not working. So we had to live unconventionally. I had no lights, so I wasn't here alone. I definitely had family with me, but and that was the blessing. But before I get into that, I want to thank a few people that sent their well wishes and support, and I'm forever grateful for that. One thing I will say is, I put up a smile picture. I can't put up too many pictures without, disclosing my actual location. However, in terms of my home, the physical structure of it, um, the night of the hurricane, you guys, water was coming through closed doors. Like the best way I could explain it is if you close your door and you have the seams on the side or whatever, the door was closed. Water was flying through the door as if the door was wide open. I can't explain it. So imagine a regular rain outside, but it's a storm, but you're up in the middle of the night trying to manage water from populating. I have a wood floor, so we had to manage the water all night long to make sure it didn't sit on the floor. So what did that mean? That meant bringing every sheet, blanket, towel, everything out of the linen closet to help soak up water. Thank God my sons were here. Thank God, there were other people here and they were able to assist me because you all know I'm a foster mom. So there were three babies. And basically, at some point in time, I had maybe it was the weather in the air or whatever, but the children were not trying to go to sleep that night. So I basically had to go on, close them off in the room, try to get them sleep before all hell broke loose. So while hell was breaking loose in the midst of the storm, you could hear it all around the house, the building, the trees ruffling outside. The babies were like, "What's that? What's that? Oh, what's that?" I'm like, shh, 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 go to sleep, go to sleep. It's okay. But it was very rough. So the water was coming in. My son was like, "Mom, such and such is leaking." So I go, what really freaked us out was all the alarms started going off out of nowhere. Every alarm was going off. And I'm like, what? And we go into one room and water is flowing, not dripping, flowing from the smoke detector. Oh my God, how is this even possible? So, with water flowing from the smoke detector, I told my son, I'm like, look, go put something down here on the floor, and go get buckets, go get something because it obviously is not going to stop falling. Along with that, the tormenting sound of loud screeching alarms going off. So we have to figure out how to disconnect the power to the alarm without disconnecting the power to the house. It took like 45 minutes to get all of that under control. Sandbags would not have helped us. Maybe at the lower part of the door, but the water was coming through the top and the sides of the door. So if sandbags were there, it would have, stopped a part of it, but it would have helped a lot. You're right. But everybody is okay. The next day, no lights. Of course, it got humid outside, and so thank God, Publix was open. It's like we went up to Publix. Everybody in the entire city seemed like they were at one Publix. I was able to sit at the pharmacy, plug up a nebulizer, and give the babies breathing treatments at Publix. Like literally, I was living, I was roughing it, you guys. Not just me, but I'm thankful that we, got past that. In the midst of it all, though, I want to, before I go any further, thank Dino up the skull. Dino, you a real one. You a soldier. You already know. I appreciate you for your help. I appreciate you for letting everybody know that I needed some type of support. And if it wasn't for the online family, I wouldn't have been able to really like support the family that was here because there were a lot other people here outside of my family. So those funds definitely went towards a good cause. It was able to help them get situated when they left my house a week later. So I did take out some of the names because I did not want to, you know, disclose everybody's personal information. And this is just a few of the cash apps that I received because they were mixed in with a lot of other people that I know that are not on YouTube. So that was a lot. So I just wanted to highlight you all. You all are very special to me, and I can't wait to um, one day tell you personally how you were able to really help with your donation. So thank you so much, family. When I say family, I don't take that for granted. It's one thing for people to, be around you and know that you're going through something and just watch you struggle, but you all did not do that. Miss New York's finest. Can't wait to meet you in person, sis. You are a true queen. I love you and I appreciate you. And you know how I feel. Thank you, brother. And I want to thank this online community for definitely standing in the gap with me, standing in the paint. And I would have never thought that I would be going through an ordeal because I pretty much usually, most all the time, had my shit together. I don't expect to go through crisis. I don't expect to need people in such a way. So the fact that, God and the creator moved the hearts of others, because it's one thing that to need and nobody moves, you know, um, to support you. That's one thing. But the fact that individuals will move to assist, I appreciate it and I don't take it for granted. Again, like you will see some of the names here, I did take them off because I knew I was going to show it today. I did not want to show their real names. A lot of y'all, I didn't recognize you by the name. If you didn't say put a note in there, let me know who your YouTube handle was. But I love you and I appreciate you and my family. It definitely appreciates the help that you sent our way. And again, right now at this point, I am in recovery mode. We are talking to contractors, getting quotes, um, dealing with HOA. What happened? Like I showed in the picture, the wind was very strong to the point that it tore the stucco off the structure of the home and water started to leak through the walls. So the stucco is getting repaired and replaced. I did lose a lot of roof tiles, so those have to get replaced. And again, like I say, my roof is not even 6 months old, so there is always something. And as I said in the first video, when Milton was on the way, it's different being a homeowner and a renter. As in a renter, it's just like I'm just gonna focus on my family. I'm gonna focus on what's inside my home and keep it moving. But as a homeowner, this is my investment. This is my $250,000 investment. So it's like you can't sit there and let a little things go along without you just you know watching it deteriorate. Again, it has appreciated. I will say this though, since this hurricane and dealing with all this recovery stuff, I do want to sell and go somewhere else. I still have to wait and see what God tells me to do. I have to move when I get the message to it's time to make that move. But I hate being in the predicament I'm in. But what they say, God would not put more on you than you can bear. And he gives his toughest battles to his strongest soldiers. So that's how I keep myself going every day, reminding myself that I can get through this. I can't get through this. So I look around my neighborhood and I see that I'm not the only one. And I'm pretty sure there are people worse off than me. So, in that aspect, I am still grateful to be able to get through this aftermath, get through this experience. But I do not want to ever go through this again. I don't want to ever go through this again. So thank you guys so much for being here with me. In the meantime, what y'all been up to? What y'all been up to? Talk to me. It's a whole lot of stuff going on out here in these streets, on these internet streets, from what I can see and gather. Right? So I appreciate y'all coming over here to hang out with me to hear what I got to say because I do. I have stuff to say. I'm like, oh. And then that's the other thing. When thank you all. And dealing with recovery, it's always these things that come up that you don't expect. So, in terms of going live and trying to do YouTube content, one thing is I'm so occupied in what with what's in front of me and keeping these pieces together, it affects your creative mind, right? So even though I could say YouTube on my mind, but I had no creative direction, I didn't have the attention span to um put a show together. I didn't have the time to sit down and construct my thoughts. So um so it was hard for me to get the momentum to come and do YouTube, you guys. I, I have been collecting the content and the information for quite some time, but it's like I just didn't have the time. I could be like I'm sitting here now, and a contractor will probably show up at my door before calling and things like that, or the lights randomly will go out because since the hurricane, we've been having random power outages, right? Like we live in LA or something. So you never know. And without power, guess what? You don't have internet. So those are the little things that have affected me coming to YouTube to do a show. Yeah, Matt. What's up, brother? So yes, I'm sitting over here fighting and fighting for my assets, keep my stuff together. You hear me? So yeah. So stress brings on for me, when I'm highly stressed, I get sick, I lose my voice, as you all can hear. I did have a long night last night, I ain't gonna lie. I've been out with the babies and had to get them together. So, but I was determined to come to work today. I am clocked in. Discerning Goddess is in the building, okay? Welcome to my channel. Oh my goodness. Let me see what y'all talking about because my let me get on my phone and look at these comments. Give me 1 second. I appreciate you all checking in, y'all. I love y'all for this. Hanging out with me. So let me get to these comments. Welcome, Casarita. Um, I see S. Collins. Oh, thank you, sis. I believe you sent me a cash out. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Killer Dog, always here supporting. Um, yes, yes, Mac. Welcome, Mac. I want to see you more often, beloved. Oh, yes, sir. Make sure you subscribe and set your notifications. So let's get into the show. Y'all ready to get into the show? Let's get into the show, you guys. You all know that I am a Coach Prime supporter. I am a more than a fan, been following Coach Prime for some time. So I love his vision. I love what he does for young people, especially young boys, helping boys turn into men. And now that he's in Colorado, it's no different than when he had Truth. It's no different than when he had Truth Academy or was at JSU. Yes, I am clocked in. And so with that, on this channel, I support um, sports media. I support young people working towards their goals, and we love to highlight such things. And being that Coach Prime is a football coach, people expect to come on different channels and see a breakdown, an analysis of the actual game. Well, I don't do that here, but you are welcome to go visit other content creators that do a great job. If you want a panel, like I just said, Dino Up the Score will provide you the information and a great atmosphere. I tell everybody it's a vibe. You want to just sit there and listen to the different personalities and people who sound like your cousins, uncles, and neighbors talk about football. That's what you're going to get over at Dino. up the skull, or you can go over to Life and Football, and Colin will give it to you straight from the book or his personal relationship that he has with Coach Prime. But over here at Discerning Goddess, I like to talk about football plus. So there's football plus, and then there's the plus. Everything around football. What was going on around the game? What happened after the game? What was the activity and things taking place? And we call that human behavior. So over here, I like to analyze, I like to observe, and I like to talk about those things. And the biggest thing is addressing the elephant in the room a lot of times. A lot of times people don't want to, or they refuse to even look at the elephant in the room, let alone talk to it or talk about it. But over here, we will be addressing the elephant in the room. So if you love the shenanigans, if you love to hear someone speak truth to power, you are in the right place. Welcome, Fly. Hey. How you doing? So with that being said, y'all know CU is on a bye week this week. The nephews have a break, a much needed break. Let me drink some water real quick. Give me some. Yes, the nephews are on a much needed break, and we have some time. I have some time today. I'm glad y'all had some time today as well to come here and hang out with me for a bit. Y'all know the reason why I always show this picture of Coach Prime. This I love this sweatsuit. I love this. I love that outfit he got on. Like I just love it. I wish I had a better angle, but when I saw him sitting at the presser and I'm like, oh, Coach is clean. Let me tell y'all something. I love to see a well dressed man, okay, put together. And we never going to be disappointed because Coach Prime will always be put together. And this was one of those outfits that made me just be like, Coach, really? Yes. And he did it again this week. I don't have a picture, but he had on that camouflage fleece sweatsuit. That was nice too. I like it. And so it's about to be winter time. For those of you who are in the Midwest and up north, y'all know winter wardrobe is different because you really get to see a person's actual style. So I'm always ready to put on clothes and come outside. Okay. So with CU, oh, he is a Florida boy for real. I can't even act up with y'all because I don't even have the wind in my lungs, y'all, to laugh without coughing. But yes, that is one thing. Coach Prime is a Florida boy, and he lets you know it. Okay, and with CU being out for the week or just practicing, we appreciate this little break for them because we have been on such a winning streak. It's it makes you feel giddy inside to see. When I say us, I'm talking about the University of Colorado football and the fans to see us achieve the amount of wins that we have because there was a point in time preseason and when the season first started, everybody was against CU. When I say everybody, everybody. The media turned content creators who were for Coach Prime and his efforts and who supported the football team. The media influenced weak-minded people to jump on the hate train. Keyword weak-minded, because you have to be a fool to believe everything you hear and see in the media. Y'all remember I told y'all the acronym for media, MEDIA, is the most effective devil in America. So you better research everything you hear and say and don't be taking it for face value. With that being said, Coach Prime and he took every knock. with dignity. And when I tell you that saying that says every knock is a boost, y'all ever heard that? I'm so sorry for coughing. That's another reason I ain't been live because I've been trying to get past one of these sicknesses. So every knock is a boost, and Coach Prime is a prime example of going through adversity and using it as a stepping stone to a winning streak, right? And the other thing is they say when a person fling mud, it purifies you. So for those of you who may not be into self-care, spa treatments, facials, we apply mud to our skin to bring out the impurities, right? So with all this mud slinging that the media has been doing to Coach Prime, Deion Sanders, it has been exposing so many people. And that in itself puts a smile on your face. Like, you too? You too? Oh my goodness. You? Yes, ma'am. So yes, it has been exposing so many people with this. See you against everybody campaign that has been going on. It's okay, we got this. Because one thing for sure and two things for certain, there's a few of us who gonna ride with Coach Prime. And the wheels will never fall off. How about that? And I'm talking to all those critics out there. Give me a moment. Let me drink some water. Okay, I'm back. I can't seem to get this raspiness out, but I'm going to keep it moving. So with us being on the bye week, you guys, Shador said he was looking forward to the bye week so that he can get healthy. And I'm pretty sure that is for most of the team to get treatment to repair their sore spots and things of that nature. But since we're talking about news and how they like to put see you in the news, let's look at some of the stuff that hasn't gone viral. I don't know about y'all, but when CU is winning, there's so much other news out there that you can hear on the ABCDEFG networks, on the XYZ streaming platforms, on the 1 2 3 4 5 other platforms. It's so much other news out there that they can talk about and that can go viral, but it never does. But we're gonna talk about it today. We're gonna talk about it today. Did y'all hear about this? Did you all hear about the former NFL quarterback Jay Cutler arrested for DUI and a gun possession and was released on $5,000 bond? Was that on your? Did that go across your news screen? Did you see that in the news somewhere? Y'all, I have to bring it up because you know why? And I'm sorry to play tick for tat, but they look for reasons. They go hunting for anything Deion Sanders related, CU adjacent to attach to Coach Prime. And this is not, I'm not at war. I'm not at war. I'm just showing the clear difference between what goes on in the media and how they approach different individuals as opposed to how they approach and portray Coach Prime in his efforts. So Jay Cutler was arrested for DUI and gun possession in Tennessee. Excuse the man in the picture, I don't know who that is. So it says Jay Cutler was arrested for DUI and gun possession Thursday evening in Franklin, Tennessee. The former NFL quarterback, who was married to reality star Kristen Cavallari, was also arrested on failure to exercise due to care in violation of an implied consent law. Cutler was 41 and booked into Williamson County Jail. Oh, it doesn't stop there. It doesn't stop there. I just wanted us to see that because when it came across my timeline, I'm like, oh, really? Well, I didn't see the media circus all over the Twitters and the X's. I didn't see the media circus in it going viral all on YouTube and the YouTube streets. Hmm. I didn't see it. So I'm just gonna let that sit right there and marinate. Why do y'all think? And I'm gonna ask the question and be very honest. I need y'all to help me out. Why do you all think this didn't make the news? Be honest. Maybe I missed something. Okay. So that was my. I just it's stuff like that just makes me go, oh wow. I wonder if I'm going to see this on my timeline. So I'm going to move along. I'm not going to sit on him too long. Oh my God, I didn't know I was muted. I was still muted. Okay, I'm back. So Did you all see the headlines with Nick Bosa? And I don't have a problem with him expressing himself. So now he has brought politics into sports. So with politics into sports, now we have to ask a question. Good morning, Miss Kimball. How are you? And it was so many other things surrounding his expression. And I'm going to get to that. And that's what we're about to get into. Give me one moment. So after the game, the 49ers game, Nick Bosa crashed his teammate's post game interview wearing a MAGA hat. And I'm going to try to pull it up for you. Excuse me. Oh, Lord. And again, do you? We don't care about you wearing no MAGA hat. Just don't get mad at us when we show up with our statement pieces on wearing on our clothes. Because that's what happens. You all get they get offended with us for being proud of who we are, supporting one another. Um they get offended if we defend one another. They get offended when we show up and be civil because they are provoking us to be uncivil, right? So there are so many things attached to the microaggressions that we experience in this USA. So we're not offended at all that he's wearing his MAGA hat. What we are concerned about is the emboldenedness that he wouldn't have any consequences because of it in the manner in which another teammate would have to address the backlash and probably their pay would be affected. And that is the double standard that we notice, not just in sports, but in every industry, in every environment. I can't access the video right now. Maybe let me see. Oh, here it is. Give me one moment. I found it. So let me share my screen. Y'all give me a thumbs up when you all can see it.
In the first half. What was said during half? It's
So let's go
points
back
in
to
the
the
first
beginning.
half. What was said during halftime? Hey, all right, Nick Bosa with a message there. What points in the first half? What was points in the first half? What was said during halftime? Hey, all right, Nick Bosa with a message there. What points in the first half? What
Hold on. Okay, here we go. Let's try this again.
points in the first half? What was said during halftime? Hey, all right. Nick Bosa with a message there. What points in the first half? What was said during halftime? Hey, all right. Nick Bosa with a message there. What points in the first half? What was said during halftime? Hey, all right. Nick Bosa with a message there. What
So, what was so funny? One, why was that funny? And see, had that been, let's take it there. A brother, because you know there are black men for Harris, black men for Kamala, and if a brother would have entered that interview wearing his Kamala Harris cap or busting open his shirt like Superman with his Harris t-shirt underneath, baby, that screen would have faded to black so quick, or those individual teammates would have been highly offended, right? And one thing I will say about these mischief makers, outside of their privilege, they really don't care about nobody, not even each other, because his teammate number 13 was being interviewed, so he felt comfortable enough to disrupt his friend or his teammate's moment to share Make America Great Again. Not only did he share it,
points in the first half? What was said during halftime? Hey, all right.
he pointed at it to make sure the lady knew it, their teammate knew it, and America, who was viewing the game, also knew it. Now, we don't have a problem. We don't. We only have a problem because had it been the other anyone else outside of that Anglo-Saxon group that showed up and expressed their support of the other candidate, it would have been a major issue. Let me know how y'all feel in the chat. Bear with me because I'm going somewhere with this, and I'm gonna have to slow down because I'm losing my voice. Ugh, I hate this. So one more time.
Nick Bosa with a message there. What points in the first half? What was said during halftime? Hey,
Incoming. Number 85 sees him coming in. He looks at him, and it probably caught them by surprise because the hat is white and not red. But go, let's go.
all right.
Number 85 found it extremely funny. So did number
Nick
31.
Bosa with a message there. What point?
And the reporter herself in agreement because she could have ignored his presence. Instead, she says, Nick Bosa with the message there. Girl, shut up. But that's what I am saying. The camaraderie, the support. Hi, Portia. The camaraderie and support that you see here, there's nothing wrong with that. However, Coach Prime has the support of many people, but it seems to be a problem that Black people love Coach Prime. His community supports him. That if he was to be in a congregated atmosphere like this, with a political message opposite of what they just displayed, baby, he'll be raked over every coal in America. They have already persecuted him in the media for doing absolutely nothing wrong. They have persecuted him. Imagine if that was a Shador or a Shiloh, even Travis, that interrupted an interview of one of their teammates. How would how would that have played out on your timeline and in your YouTube streets? So there was some engagement or responses to what Nick Bosa did. So somebody named John Root said 49ers Nick Bosa crashed the post-game interview wearing a MAGA hat. Okay. Phil Thumpy, whoever that is, said Nick Bosa is a effing coward. Don't pop in someone else's post-game interview showing off that weak A hat, then duck smoke when they ask you about it directly. True clown. Come on now. Sound off America. T. Riche, hey. Quincy Avery said, also just wanted to be clear, Nick Bosa is a weak A dude. You can do what you want, but you wanted to make a statement. Do it with a microphone in front of you. Hold him accountable, y'all. I love this. But did we see it go viral though? So Plies, y'all know Professor Plies be all over the Twitters and the Instagrams. Let's see what Brother Plies had to say. Plies say, why is it that it seems that clear athletes feel emboldened when it comes to making their political statements? You see it all over the weekend with Nick Bosa. He said, you've seen it all over the weekend with Nick Bosa in the kicker from Texas Tech. Oh, really? We missed that. That didn't go viral. All MAGA supporters haven't seen many of us doing the same. Are we afraid or just disinterested? I don't know, Plies. I don't know. But it's interesting that he said the Texas Tech kicker also did it. Aren't we playing Texas Tech in a few? So they over there on that. Honey. Mm-mm. Okay. Let me get to my next clip, you guys. My next one. We're gonna talk about this. We're gonna talk about it. We sure are. Because if Texas Tech has a kicker over there wearing MAGA paraphernalia, and they're upset that CU players wear jewelry, really? They make a big deal because Colorado players wear jewelry and drive cyber trucks. But you have a whole player over there um, supporting an artist. And I ain't talking about no, I'm talking about somebody who takes advantage of women. People around here talking about Diddy, honey. The Orange Man is the original Diddy. How about that? I'm not sure. Okay, here we go. So let's see what Ryan Clark had to say. Let's see what Ryan Clark had to say. Give me one moment. Let me get this content pulled up for y'all. Hope y'all are enjoying the show. If you're new here, I am Discerning Goddess. Welcome to my channel.
When Nick Bosa shows up in a MAGA hat doing Brock Purdy's interview, he knows exactly what he's doing. Never before has sort of partisanship had divided the country in the way that it has. Since 2016, that's been what it is. And when you say make America great again, what was so great about it before? What part of America are you trying to get to? Based on what we're hearing coming out of many of these campaign rallies, there's only one side that truly degrades and speaks negatively of the differences in other people, where they're from, the colors of their skin. There's only one side that does that. And I've worked really hard since 2016 to try to separate the people that support Republicans from the Make America Great Again people, because it was hard for me to believe that you weren't racist. Right. And there's a long following of Nick Bosa's tweets where it's a lot of pushback against the culture, which is weird because in the locker room, it's such a melting pot of people where you accept one another's differences. Also think it's sort of ironic. This happens in San Francisco where Colin Kaepernick legitimately lost his career, not because he said America is a bad place, because he said, I want to make America a better place for people like us.
Hmm.
In a MAGA hat doing Brock Purdy's interview, he knows exactly what he's doing. Never before has sort of partisanship had divided the country in the way that it has. Since 2016, that's been what it is. And when you say make America great again, what was so great about it before? What part of America are you trying to get to?
And see, what he is asking the question is, and what a lot of people. Hi, JJ. Welcome to the show, sis. You say Ryan Clark doesn't know the difference between accept and tolerate. Okay. Yes, ma'am. But when he was asking the question, when they say make America great again, what are they implying? Because see, a lot of times, most of the times, there's an undertone when you're talking to certain people in that sector of America. They will never straight talk you. It will always have an undertone. They're going to say one thing to you, but it means something else. And a lot of times it's put you in your place or a dog whistle to the white person or the other person standing next to them or other people in the room that agree with them. Give me one moment.
Based on what we're hearing coming out of many of these campaign rallies, there's only one side that truly degrades and speaks negatively of the differences in other people, where they're from, the colors of their skin. There's only one side that does that. And I've worked really hard since 2016.
Man, I'm over here just talking, and y'all, the whole time ain't nobody say I can't hear you. Thank you for the text. Let me drink some water real quick. So, in terms of football, and now that Nick Bosa has infused politics with football and he's let everybody know what side, he's not by himself. But my question is now, how is this going to play out in college locker rooms and their locker room over at the 49ers? Um, what Ryan Clark said, hold on, let me go back. Hold on.
To try to hearing coming out of many of these campaign rallies, there's only one side that truly degrades and speaks negatively of the differences in other people, where they're from.
Exactly. So that was my point. I was on one. When he said there's only one side that does that, there's only one side. And let's bring this home. When they see Coach Prime, they don't see a coach. When they see Coach Prime, they don't see a a coach or a mentor that is changing the lives of young men who America has deemed a boy in the hood or a menace to society. When they see Coach Prime, they don't see that. When they see Coach Prime, they don't see a former NFL player. They don't see him as a Hall of Famer alum. They don't see him as a wealthy man. All they see when they see Coach Prime is a black man. And to them, that's beneath them. I say that based on the way they treat him. I'm not saying they need to roll out a red carpet, but what I am saying is if you're not doing it to them older coaches, don't unjustifiably do it over here to this man who doesn't have a record of lacking integrity. He doesn't have a record of unethical practices and what he does. But the way the media crucifies him, you would think he just got released from prison and they gave him a coaching job. I know the devil like today. My laptop saying low battery. Hold on now. There we go. My computer was about to die. But yeah, you would think that Coach Prime is on the ex offenders list somewhere. The way these people handle him in the media. That's what I mean. If I was a person that was ignorant and didn't know no better, and yes, there are some ignorant parents that don't know no better, and they go by whatever they see on in the media, and they will tell their sons, "No, you're not going to play for that man. I don't want nothing to do with that. That's your loss, not ours. Thank you very much. Thank you very much." What you say, Jen? Even if you in a Benz, hey, you steal it, okay? In a come That's what he said. And we have to understand that. Unfortunately, there are some of us who really wake up every day and feel like the world has changed, and it has not. So, and moving forward, one thing information is empowering. That's one thing information is empowering. If you have information, you are empowered. Now you have to have the right information to proceed accordingly. So we just gonna say we are happy that Coach Prime has accomplished everything he has accomplished, and he is where he is. He can't say what we say or what I say, but I'll say it. I'll definitely say it.
The colors of their skin. There's only one side that does that. And I've worked really hard since 2016 to try to separate the people that support Republicans from the Make America Great Again people, because it was hard for me to believe that you weren't racist, right? And you
And that's the catch right there. It was hard for him to believe that people were not that way. Y'all better wake up. Not only are they that way, they will be nice to you and be that way. They will fix your plate, fix your car, hand you your paycheck, all of that. They will do all kinds of nice things and be that way. And the issue is a lot of times we send our children out in society not knowing the rules of engagement. Do they have to be militant all the time in that war? Absolutely not. They can be professional. They can be intelligent, but just don't be ignorant. Ryan had a rude awakening when he said he didn't know that they were artists.
there's a long following of Nick Bosa's tweets where it's a lot of pushback against the culture, which is weird because in the locker room, it's such a melting pot of people where
So basically, what Ryan just said is there. Nick Bosa has a carbon copy, a history, a research file of his tweets. Okay, that will identify his thinking process. That lets people know who he is. But in the locker room, it's such a melting pot of cultures. That's true. Like I said, people don't wear who they are on their sleeves and on their shoulders. And I know some of y'all be wondering, damn, she be saying all kinds of stuff. I wonder how she show up at work. It's called code switching. One, I don't scratch what I don't itch. I don't jump if I don't feel froggy. I don't do any of that stuff unless I unless I feel like it. But am I professional? I absolutely am. Do I know how to be cordial? I absolutely do. Am I civil? Of course I'm civil. My mama taught me manners. But at the end of the day, I know who I'm dealing with when I'm dealing with them. And if it ever gets heated in a disagreement or where we need clarity with one another, ain't nobody gonna stun me. Because respectfully and professionally, I hold it down. Now, can I be corrected? I absolutely can, but you're gonna speak to me like you want me to respond to you. And that is what and that is what we need to understand. Whether we want to believe it or not, This is a very divided place where we live. And then you have some of us that wake up every day and feel like, oh, the world is a beautiful place. God bless everybody. God loves everybody. So do I. Baby, I don't know what to tell you, but hmm.
Accept one another's differences. I also think it's sort of ironic this happens in San Francisco, where Colin Kaepernick legitimately lost his career, not because he said America is a bad place, because he said, I want to make America a better place for people like us. Not because he said that he wants brown and black people to be superior to others, but just equal. He wanted their lives and our lives to matter as much as everyone else's life. The MAGA movement has been very clear that all lives don't matter the same, that all people aren't sort of deserving of the same treatment, of the same compassion, of the same level of life and liberty. And so I do think that the shut up and dribble thing that always is told to the LeBron Jameses when he speaks up against police brutality, to the Colin Kaepernicks when he speaks up against police brutality.
Does that sound familiar to y'all? What happened yesterday when Coach Prime showed support to another man? He was told to mind his own plate, just like that lady newscaster, that Clear Karen told the basketball players that year, shut up and dribble. So y'all can do whatever you want to do to us, say whatever you want to say, assassinate our character, and take away all our accomplishments. And you want us to just be quiet. What I said in my post on the community wall, we love our ancestors, we do. We appreciate them for teaching us patience and perseverance, right? But in that aspect, we are not our ancestors. One thing about, I would say, this present time, a lot of us have learned is how to respectfully get up from the table and walk away.
To all of these athletes who were involved in movements in 2020, it only seems to go to the athletes that look like us, to the people that are speaking for the marginalized and the minorities as opposed to the majorities. Because when 45 called Colin Kaepernick and other people who kneeled sons of bitches, nobody told him to keep politics out of sports. So it
Mm-mm.
seems very clear to me. Nick Bosa understands that when you wear that hat, you take a side. You take a
Mhm.
side of division in a sport that's supposed to bring us together. I'm just
Mhm.
waiting for all the people who comment under political and sports things to shut up and dribble or to shut up and play football to tell him to shut up and rush. But they ain't gonna say it because they feel the exact same way he do. Don't hold your breath.
Okay, y'all. Politics has entered football. I've been trying to say that for a while now. That those same MAGA people, they are the parents of some of them football players. They are the aunts and uncles of some of those football players. And it's a difference. It's a difference in us showing up to play complimentary football with the team or with the O line or D line, and we're there to play complimentary football. They're there to take our freaking heads off, literally, break our bones in several pieces, literally, out of their disdain for what they see, and which is the shade of brown that we are. So you have to coach your children as a parent a certain way, and you have to coach them differently as a coach. Because there's a different type of energy coming from a player that just wants to tackle you and get you to the ground when it comes when you look at another player is there to break your damn skull. Excuse my language. I see it. I see it. If I can see it through the television screen, I know they can feel it on their football team. So, from this auntie to all my nephews, you better fight back. I know it's a football game, but if you ever run into those one of those disrespectful children of the corn, because that's what I'm gonna start calling them. That's their name now. They are not MAGA children. They're children of the corn. They're demons. That's what they are. If you run into one of them on the football team, muck them up. Especially if they are disrespectful and they trying to take away your career, your ability to move forward in your career. There's a difference when you're playing football in a sport and you have a competitor that's just competing. But now, what Colorado football players are running into out of jealousy, a lot of times, envy, many times, but as far as the naked eye can see, hate that shows up on that football field, hate from the competitor side. Last week during the Cincinnati game, I saw Travis Hunter get targeted and the call was not made. That big D line corn fed child of the corn dove straight for Travis' head. I don't have the footage, go find it. I know y'all saw it. You think that ref called targeting? Absolutely did not. Absolutely did not. But they called a frivolous penalty. A frivolous penalty on Jimmy Horn for for putting up the peace sign, for chucking deuces on his way into the end zone. That must be one of those rules and penalties that was written in invisible ink that you needed what they call them lights that you use to see um stuff on the wall and on the sheet. A blue light, a green light, or one of them lights. That was one of them rules that was written down that nobody else could see unless they had on special goggles. Because when would you take away somebody's touchdown? Taking away his touchdown affects his stats. They know exactly what they're doing when they do that. They could have gave him the penalty on the next drive, but no, they took away his whole touchdown. And I'm gonna say this about the officials because one, Shador is never going to say it. Coach Prime isn't going to say it. The coaching staff is not going to speak out about the officials. It would be a detrimental backlash from the officials. Okay, they are as tight as any blue wall. Let's just say that. So when it comes to officials in the football game, and we're talking Colorado, here's what I know. Here's what I know, and y'all can get down in the comments and let me know in the chat. At this point in the season, everybody knows that the officials are not going to be fair to Colorado. Everybody knows that the officials are not going to make calls for the most part on other teams. At this point, everybody knows that the officials be cheating their asses off when it comes to Colorado. At this point, everybody knows that the officials are not for Colorado. Everybody knows it. Even the teams that we are playing against, they also know it. So what do you think is going to happen? There are going to be some cheap shots. There are going to be some bull mess going on the field. because the team knows that the officials ain't gonna call it anyway. So I'm gonna play dirty. I'm gonna get a cheap shot. But when it comes to you all, you come close to me, I'm gonna fall and act like I'm hurt. As a coach, I'm gonna complain to the officials because we already know y'all. Colorado is literally the black sheep of college football. Don't know. Mom and daddy don't like you, so I'm gonna tell anyways. You're gonna get a beating. We not. You're gonna get punished. We're not. So that is how the mindset works. We saw it in the Kansas State game, and we be pissed. We do be pissed. So again, which is why Coach Prime is always saying dominate, 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 dominate. Because when you dominate, when we are running the scoreboard, it don't matter what them whack ass officials do, we're gonna still win. Which we saw that happen in the Cincinnati game. If it had been a close game, ain't no telling how that would have ended up. We must always, always, always be 3 or 4 touchdowns in the league. Because we're not playing against our opponent. We're playing against our opponent. We're playing against the media. We're playing against the officials in Arsis America. Let me see what y'all talking about. Hi, Elijah fans. Welcome. Yeah, everybody. Stevie Wonder and Ray Charles, Helen Keller too. Everybody saw that that should not have been called, and how the officials be calling games for Colorado. They can squeeze, and their eyes going to be closed. But even if the field officials don't see the booth, should have called the flag. Exactly. So they are choosing. They are choosing, picking and choosing what to call. But for the most part, they are calling all these penalties, frivolous penalties on Colorado. And when I hear Coach Prime talk about the penalties, we got to ease up on the penalties. I don't know if he's using reverse psychology, right, to the NCAA and the officials, or he don't believe that the officials. I know he playing because I know he know a lot of them penalties are not warranted. He has to know that, but that's okay, Coach Prime. I got your back. I got your back. The officials lack integrity. I believe that the officials also be having money on the books and be trying to turn the game another way so that they can win. I definitely believe that, and can't nobody make me believe otherwise. I'm just saying. Hold on, let me drink some water. So yeah, the point I wanted to make was this. Everybody knows that the officials are not going to call a clean game with Colorado, even the teams that they're going to play. So it is a large chance that those other teams know that they're going to be handed a win. But that still doesn't stop them for showing up to a Super Bowl. So, in the words of my nephew Shador Sanders, we're everybody's Super Bowl. Everybody shows up to play Colorado as if it was the game of their life. And like I always tell my CU nephews, so if they're going to come play you like it's a Super Bowl, baby, you got to get ready for the Super Bowl every week. Every week. Every week. And don't miss a week. Turn up. Thank you, Elijah Sands. So let's move right along. We're gonna get this agenda moving so I can get into some other things. That's enough about Nick Bosa. He is who he is, and he's gonna do what he's gonna do. Unfortunately, I have to talk about a relationship. I don't like talking about people's relationships. I like talking about relationship dynamics, but I don't like talking about people's relationships. But because it is football adjacent, let's look at it. So, our cousin, Chad Johnson, was engaged to Sherelle Rosado. Sherelle came out a few days ago and let the world know. Sherelle came out a few days ago and let the world know. She said, Chad and I are no longer together. Please stop tagging us. He is a free man, ladies. So Sherelle was like, don't do that. Oh my God. I didn't even bother to go. I know, right? We love love. I know I do. I love to see other people happy in this situation. Um, and sometimes we see people they be engaged forever, and you want, it's like okay, we're in the wedding because I remember them getting engaged. But I'm also old. I'm traditional in a sense, right? I'm one of them women. I ain't finna play wife if I ain't in no wife situation. And we ain't married. We ain't married. Oh, okay, cool. But whatever happened in that situation, um, no, I didn't. Send it to me. Whatever happened in that situation, I guess Chad or Ocho Cinco, being the brother he is, he didn't want to speak about it. Not sure that if it was on his end why the relationship had a breakdown or hers. There are still some good men out there that won't speak badly about a former relationship. But I respect that about him. What I will say this to my nieces, and sometimes we have to see the situation for what it is, not for what we want it to be. Although I know and believe that children are a blessing, I'm not sure what a woman expects from a man that has like 7 or 8 children from multiple women. Like he's definitely, and I'm not saying this in a way to speak bad about Chad, but what I'm saying is this: the reality is this: a man who is a man is going to show up in the lives of his children, regardless of what continent they own, what space in America they're in, and if he's building a relationship or keeping that strong relationship with his children. If you're going to be with a man like that, you have to accept his reality. And if you are not a secure woman, you're going to always feel insecure because he has a relationship with his children. Ocho Cinco don't have babies. He have grown women, like young adults, beautiful young women who are his daughters. So I'm saying this because I know women in this situation. They always feel not first, but added on into their relationship. They feel second to the children when they decided to be in a relationship with a man that has children outside of them. You can't have a baby to make that man be yours 100%. Even if you marry him, he ain't gonna be yours 100% because he has children in another household. You have to be secure that whatever union y'all have, that is solid. You can't change what he has done before he met you. And I will go out there and say, I'll be the first to say, it ain't got nothing to do with me being insecure, but I am very selfish when it comes to the type of time I expect and what I want. I ain't saying don't take care of your children, but I cannot be second in no way. And I don't compete with babies. So that's an out. I ain't competing. I ain't competing with another woman. I ain't competing with no babies, none of that. So I'm not sure why she made the decision. What I am saying, even as men and women, when you know what it is, that's the situation going into it. Don't expect it to change. Let him be the father to his children that he intends to be. And if you can't support that, then yeah, it's time to get up from the table. Let me see what y'all talking about. Hey Rev, how are you? What you talking about, kids? Talking about LOL? Nope. No, I'm being honest. Like, and again, like I said, I love children. And this in this season of my life, my youngest child is 24, 25. What I look like agreeing to a relationship with somebody that has small children, even middle school children, like, when I'm trying to get on a plane somewhere, catch a flight, you somewhere, no, that would run me crazy. No. And one thing I am big on is keeping my peace. If anything disrupts that, I'm out. I'm doing good. I'm back. First live since being put, given a little break since Hurricane Milton. Woo! Mac, really? See, I didn't know. See, I'm not here to judge, but wow. And see, and stuff like that, and I'm big on alignment and intention too. I cannot start anything that's not transparent and good. Like I ain't gonna never walk forward in mess. And that was doomed to fail. If that's the case, Matt, the union wasn't blessed. It wasn't a blessed union. And I was talking to one of my friends yesterday about another situation. And one of the things we came out of it saying is if the person would cheat on you, wait, if the person would cheat with you, they definitely gonna cheat on you. I ain't no cheater. I don't know. But that sound about right to me. She admitted it. I gotta go back and do my research. But what I am saying is God bless them on their journeys and that they are able to maintain a friendship to further provide that baby with the stability that he needs. So being that it's election time and moving right along. Being that it's election time, did y'all hear this? Former NFL star running back Marshawn Lynch is considering running for mayor in his hometown of Oakland, California. What y'all think about that? What y'all think about that? So let me see what I got on my shirt. Let me pull up the article. Give me one moment. I'm not here to influence nobody's vote. I'm pretty sure at this point, because it is early voting this week. I think it's the last week. Those people going to vote. They're going to vote, and they know who they're voting for. And the people who don't vote and don't care nothing about elections or none of that, their mind has not changed. So, but for those of us that do participate in our civic duty, this is a conversation for us. Whew. I believe that he might as well. Can't be worse than the one. Rev, you be showing up with all the shenanigans. You said if Arnold can be in politics, he can too. I agree. I certainly agree. Let's get into this article. So Marshawn Lynch hints at a run for Oakland mayor. The former NFL and Cal Berkeley star hinted at a run on his podcast with Galvin Newsom and Doug Hendrickson. Give me one moment. Let me remove that real quick. There we go. It says Marshawn Lynch, and this was written October 10th, so it's still a fresh article. Marshawn Lynch, the former star of NFL running back, a Super Bowl champ, hinted at a possible run for mayor of Oakland. On the podcast, he co-hosts with his longtime agent, Doug Hendrickson, and California Governor Gavin Newsom. It might be a possibility, Lynch said. He recently told a confidant. Both Newsom and Hendrickson encouraged Lynch to go beast mode in the race. Okay. Lynch, the golf cart spinning California Golden Bear alum, who starred on ESPN College Game Day, first campus visit last weekend, addressed the potential opening as Oaklanders weighed in. The city has struggled mightily with crime and is enduring two recalls, an FBI raid of Theo's home and an intervention of state law enforcement and prosecutorial resources sent by Newsom. Oakland has also lost all of its major professional sports team. Wow, I didn't know that. Lynch said he is encouraged to run on the sidelines of game day and joked about the Chris Rock directed movie Head of State, which co-starred the late comedian Bernie Mac. Do you remember when Bernie Mac was walking through when he was slapping this out of everybody? Lynch asked, "That's how I would be coming through here, slapping the mess out of everybody. Like, get your mess together." Lynch urged Newsom not to openly discuss his possible mayoral bid. Leave that alone, Batman, Lynch said, the nickname he used for Newsom. But the governor ignored him. So pretty much, y'all can go ahead and find that article. I just wanted to bring it to the agenda today, just to add some good news and some light, which is still football, it's still politics. That a lot of times things that are good does not get publicized. It does not get ran through our timelines like the negativity does. So I kind of fall into this place where I feel like my purpose here. is to somewhat infuse other aspects of football into my sports talks about CU. Now, as we get into our main course, what y'all talking about? I want to say I appreciate you all being here. I know I've been missing for a couple of days and maybe weeks. I have been dealing with hurricane recovery. If you're new here, I did talk about it in the beginning of the show, and we are getting there. I'll just say that. A lot of times people think that FEMA is a instant check. No, you still got to go through different layers and checks and balances before FEMA will do what FEMA's do. I do have home insurance, so home insurance and FEMA are having a conversation. I just know they better look out for me, okay? But that's where I'm at. Today's my first day back since Hurricane Milton. So thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate you for being here. And with that being said, y'all, it's been some junk going on, right? Can't avoid it. But just in case, you saw the picture of the front of the house. Yeah. So yeah, I described the ordeal, and it was weather tattered and torn. I know that much. So that was the front. On the inside, I don't know if you all knows what it looks like to see water soaking through the walls of your home, but it's concerning because it's like I own this. And it's like, how am I going to repair this? Because in my mind, anytime I have the least damage or to a major one, I'm thinking about my resale value. So this is why I am so stressed out trying to repair this because it's an asset. I don't want my home value to drop. So when you see water damage, and when I think of how I am as a buyer, I made sure my appraiser looked into everything from the attic to the septic tank. So who am I to think that the buyers that are not going to do the same thing when they start, trying to when I try to sell this house? If they detect the least amount of water damage, it's gonna like ruin my sale. It's gonna be over. If it's a smart buyer, or if it's somebody that's desperate for a first time home, they may be like, well, it's not that bad. But water coming through your paint, meaning that it's in the walls, it's inside the what they call that stuff they put between the walls and the sheetrock, all that cushy stuff. That means the cushy stuff in the middle of the walls is soaked and wet. So when you see it instantly spreading along your walls, it's like, oh my God. It's like watching a wet sheet. You pour a cup of water on the wet sheet and you see the wet just spread on the sheet. That's what my walls were looking like the night of the hurricane. And so in my mind, all I can think about, Lord, I ain't gonna never be able to sell this damn house. Insulation, yes, insulation. So that was on the walls. Water was coming through the roof and through my door. But that's a whole nother story. We're just in recovery mode right now. So thank you all for being patient with me. Um, and just showing up. It means a lot. But what I do want to look at some right now is some data. Like I told y'all, information is key. And depending on how you use it, information is power as well. So let's look at Coach Prime for a minute. Some of the information that's out. This could be a little outdated, but not that much. But let's take a look at it. Didn't know I was on mute. Y'all, I'm sorry. But what you're looking at is a before and after Coach Prime. Coach Prime came to the Bucks projected a rebound of $18 million in a deficit for the fiscal year of 2021. So that means they were in debt. University of Colorado was in debt for $18 million. After Dion, how much money did Deion Sanders generate for Colorado? Deion Sanders are generating $113.2 million in economic value from six University of Colorado Boulder home games. So Coach Prime has in one football season $113.2 million of economic impact. Everybody's making money. The prime effect should not be ignored. And that was an article written in April of this year. So this is information that we already know. But imagine being in the coaching circle and comparing yourself to Coach Prime. I would be a little bit bothered too. The clear coaches over there in their own cookouts talking about he's barely a coach. You know, Florida State, what kind of position are they in today? Not only today, they had a good season last season, and they still didn't get invited to the championship or the playoffs. I think I could be wrong, but what? Like I say, God don't like ugly. He ain't crazy about cute. So they missed out on the opportunity when they denied Coach Prime as a head coach to coach at his one of his schools. He made Florida State football what Florida State football is known for. But we're not going to dwell on that. Keep going. So in 2019, the USA Today wrote, says, "Do you mean to Melissa?" Of course, I mean the clear fraternity of coaches. I call them the clear coaches in the clear mainstream media. So let's get into this article. It was written in 2019. I'm talking, oh, taking, eh, I'm talking myself into this. It's not happening. It can't be happening. Sanders cannot and will not be the next head coach of Florida State. This has nothing to do with who Deion Sanders is as a person. He's clearly a brilliant dude. He knows the game of football well. And this was in 2019 now, right before COVID. I just don't think people understand the amount of work that goes into building a successful college football program. There's recruiting, using your coaching staff to help you build relationships in your area of the country, and then nurturing those relationships into commitments. There's management. Building a program is not just about hiring a good staff of assistant coaches. A head coach oversees a medical team, equipment, facility scheduling. You must maintain a good relationship with the boosters of the school, communicating with them to ensure that you have the support of the biggest supporters of the program. So this was one of those anonymous comments. So I know whoever made this comment, they've been punching the air for a long time now. Because everything Coach Prime touches turns to gold and it turns into bags of money. Cha-ching, cha-ching. So you gotta be careful. They have to be careful of how they think about black coaches and their ability to cultivate a football program and be among the best. And Coach Prime is definitely among the best when it comes to talent, staff talent, the support that he has, as well as his football team. Two short, two short ones left, and we're gonna move right along. And this could be different now. It says, how much does Deion Sanders make in Colorado? So when he first came to University of Colorado, his salary was $29.5 million, according to his contract. It says Deion Sanders' contract with Colorado is a 5-year deal worth up to $29.5 million, and that's before any bonuses or incentives. And that was written this year in September. From what I was told, I believe he gets a bonus for every winning game. And the fact that they are Super Bowl bound, I believe there is a bonus attached to that as well. And I hope his contract is constructed for every sellout game that he gets a bonus for that as well. So all those little add-ons and incentives, I'm pretty sure he has met every goal when it comes to his contract and those bonuses. And the last note is, how much is Coach Prime worth? So according to numerous sources, his total net worth grew and is now estimated to be around $45 million, including the massive record-setting contract he received to coach Colorado and numerous endorsing deals he had on his side. So that was in March of this year as well. I'm sure it has increased by then. So I just wanted to highlight or share this information just to give some of us who have not done our research some clarifying things as to why people are just seething, seething with anger, can't contain their hate, are always attacking this brother, this man, and his children because there's a mindset that exists. I apologize, y'all. I was outside all night. There was a mindset that exists that we should not have access to wealth. 414J, what's up? And that when you see about Coach Prime, he's not new money. He's first generational wealth, yes. But the problem I believe many of them have is he is transitioning that into generational wealth for his children and his grandchildren. And for some people, they hate it. I'm not going to go into all this deep stuff, but as you can see, if you're paying attention to your news headlines, there's an attack on black wealth and people that have it. Now, is it attached to some of the things those people have done and their wealth is threatened by them probably going to jail or losing it or paying for lawyers? Yes. But some people are just being taken. Wendy Williams, her wealth is being it has been siphoned from her, from the network that she was employed by, because they wanted that lady to keep sitting in that purple chair, even though mentally she should have been retired. So they gave her a guardian, and the guardian has been giving money to everybody in the world except her son and her family members. So there, if you all can think of at least one person that has come into some issues, legal issues or whatever, and their wealth is threatened by that. And one thing there are some people can't stand is black wealth, and Coach Prime has access to it. And not only does he have access to it, he's teaching others how to get it, how to maintain it, and have generational wealth. And that is a threat. That is a major threat to some. Business is warfare. So we are coming to a close. I wanted to shout out these beautiful women right here. I want to shout out these beautiful women right here. In the middle, you see Caleb Mathis's mom and two other gorgeous sisters. It's one thing about me, I am not one of those women that do not compliment other women. When I see classy women doing the doggone thing, I love it, and I absolutely enjoy it and don't mind telling another sister that, you know, you look cute, sis. And these are the type of aunties I love to see all over my timeline. Aunties are doing it. Okay, that's Coach Mathis' wife in the middle. I'm not sure who the other two sisters are, but I love the outfits. I love how poised they are. I love how well put together they look. And this type of auntie time I'm on, y'all. So shout out to Caleb Mathis and his family, and shout out to the women that show up to the game looking absolutely beautiful, classy, civilized, all of that. Y'all did that, looking great over there representing for Colorado football. And speaking of nephews and aunties and all of that, I just want to say real quick, touch not my Shiloh. All the aunties, we don't play about none of our nephews, but y'all can leave Shiloh alone, okay? Um, People have bad days. You ever went to work and just the day just not work out for you? Okay? You ever went to work and realized, okay, I need to have another training. I've even been that type of professional, like I remember getting to a point in my career where I kept coming to a block when it comes to engagement, because when the culture changes, your approach has to change. So I went, okay, Carter Sotomayor's mom. So I remember going to my director and asking for, I was like, I need to go back to training. I need some more training because, I'm not as confident in certain areas. It's okay. As people in our careers, if we're honest with ourselves, we have had bad days at work. It's no different with Shiloh. Now, the world knows that since the Nebraska game, I think it was Nebraska game, Shiloh broke his arm and he was out for maybe 3 or 4 weeks and he came back and he was not as effective. He was a little rusty. I don't know if he didn't train. I don't know if he didn't keep his endurance up or what. But to me, it appeared that he was still protecting his injury, which I think resulted in him having a not so good game. But why y'all jump over that boy like that? At the end of the day, I'm gonna say this about a lot of the critics that like to keep Shiloh's name in their mouth in a negative way. One, especially if you're one of these bold critics that every time you get on somebody's platform, you want to disparage these young men. And my question would be, have you ever played football? Okay, I need you to check off the list. Have you ever played football? Did you make it to college? Did you get to the level that Shiloh is playing football in a college? Okay, because from what it sounds like to me, some of the individuals that are criticizing Shiloh, y'all haven't made it past middle school or little league. We call it little league here. Little league football, or Pop Warner football, or PAL football. But y'all have the most to say about that boy and how he played. I want to challenge every platform. You YouTubers, put your link to your huddle account. Put a link to some of your game footage inside your about. Let us see what you do. Let us see what you did. I want to challenge all of you critics that sound like complete fools talking crazy about Shiloh. Every now and then, put a short up of you out there training. Let us judge you. Let us critique you. Because at the end of the day, and this is Auntie speaking about her nephew, if you don't know your credit score, stop talking about Shiloh. If your credit score is below 750, 780, you ain't got no business talking about Shiloh. You have other things to be concerned about, like paying your bills on time. If you already somebody baby daddy and not their husband and just a baby daddy who don't even pay child support, just a baby daddy with several babies in several zip codes, you should not be talking about Shiloh. You should be concerned about providing for your children and showing up in your child's life like Coach Prime is a present father. See, these are the reasons why y'all got a problem with Coach Prime and his children. One, you miss your daddy and you don't know what it's like to have a man beside you from the beginning to the end. And two, you wish you were in the place of the Sanders boys. And I'm not talking about all of y'all. I'm talking about the ones that got so much to say. Let me pause for a second. Oh, hey Dino. Welcome, beloved. Okay, I'm so happy you're here. But I did give you some love in the beginning, and I want to thank you for what you did for me. I appreciate it. So you just I shouldn't have paused, but I did. So I was about to go all the way off about Shiloh. So I'm gonna just leave it right there. I'm gonna just leave it right there. To all of you who have so much to say about Shiloh, you have so much you can be focused on right now. I promise if you focus on yourself, you will have better days. You will have better days. Shiloh should not be your concern. So there's a lot of Heisman talk because everybody is finally recognizing that Shador is the best quarterback in football. So and to some, and he's the best quarterback in college football, right? So Shador has re-entered the chat as a possible Heisman candidate. Travis has already been in the conversation for weeks now as the best player in college football. And Shador has always supported Travis. He endorsed him early on in the season. He said Travis for Heisman. I loved it because very rarely do we see each other supporting each other. And that just gave me so much joy because when the world seems to be against them, it seems like it's pushing the boys or the team closer together. And on that note, I was about to forget to make this point. Y'all know how they are. Whenever you upset senior football, they come and kick butt. They come and make examples out of people. They play with a chip on their shoulder. So it is my belief that the media has decided among themselves to not talk about Colorado so much, right? So that they can start winning. That's the reverse psychology of it all to me. We're not going to talk about them. We're not going to put them down anymore. We're not going to say negative things about them. Hopefully they'll lose. Hopefully they'll start losing because when everybody seems to be against you, you play differently. You like, okay, I'm gonna show you. So that's I believe why it's so quiet in the media. Plus, the media just don't like them, and they refuse to say anything good about Colorado football coach Prime or the players over there. So with that being said, Coach Shador just said, I just want Travis to win. He's the best player in college football. And speaking about the Heisman, and speaking about Travis to date in terms of his season, Travis receiving stats as of week 9, he has 60. I can't even see. He has 757 receiving yards. I think that's what that says. And 8 touchdowns for Travis. And then on here you can see all the other wide receivers in chronological order. And we already knew that the wide receiver room was everything that we knew it was. Hi, sis JD from the DI. Wagwan. Hey, sis. Yeah, it's like media today is not what media used to be. You don't have to have any integrity. You can just wake up in the morning, think of a lie, and make a story out of it. And the thing that it most concerns me is that they don't care about the mental health of these young men. They, to me, it seems like they only do it to Colorado. University of Georgia got drunk drivers, drunk driving charges, all kind of stuff over there at their football team, but it never goes viral. Let that be Colorado, child. We will never sleep. Those stories will be everywhere. Thank you so much for joining. Welcome to the chat. So we know when it comes to the media narratives, it is definitely heavily, heavily biased when it comes to Colorado football, which is why, and I have to always go back to this. Coach Prime is doing God's work. Coach, it's one thing, and here's the difference between Coach Prime and those other coaches, because they like to say, well, other coaches care about players too. Here's the thing. Since the beginning of time, white coaches have come into our communities and plucked our best talent out and took them away to these universities. Okay, cool. Cool. But what we have seen, in the last, I say, decade, is some players speaking out about some of those coaches expecting them to be forever indebted into them and talking they made them. You should not do things for young people with the expectation now they are in servitude to you when it comes to their career. I'm trying to choose my words carefully, you guys. It's a difference because a coach today that has diversity at training, okay, he knows what the culture is, so he's a bit more mindful of how he approaches our nephews, okay. Them old school clear coaches, they come with a certain mindset, and you are disposable to them. That's the difference between them and Coach Prime. Coach Prime has a genuine affinity for where he would like to see these young men, not just in football, in their life going forward. And it's not personal. As we can see in yesterday's headlines, they'll pick you up and put you down as they feel when you become no more of a asset to them. When they use you for everything that they want. Now they don't need you no more. So Travis, earlier this week, he endorsed Shador. And in my profession, we call it playing football or playing ball. Before I go into a staff meeting, before I go into do a presentation or some type of community meeting, I say to my homegirl, I'm like, we're gonna play ball today. You're gonna be good cop, I'm gonna be bad cop. What we doing? We playing ball? Yes, we playing ball. I'm gonna say something, she gonna hit it out the park. She say something, I hit it out the park. We maneuver and we partner up that way. So I love when I saw Travis come out with his support of Shador, because if I don't win, I want you to win. If Shador don't win, he wants Travis to win. And that is how it should be. You think them other people don't do that over there in their program? They absolutely do. Even when it comes to coaching, coaches up for this award, coaches up for that award. Listen, brother, if I don't get it, I want you to get it. So I'm gonna do everything on in my power to make sure one of us get it. And that is how you show up and support your brother, your teammate. Because at the end of the day, that acknowledgement goes towards the whole team. You know what type of bragging rights that's going to be for another young man? I was on the team when Travis was Heisman. 15, 20 years from now, you knew Travis Thompson? Of course I knew Travis. I was there with Shador did. Da, 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 da. Listen, them stories for a lifetime. You gonna say it for me, Rev. You gonna say it. You gonna say it for me. So I was extremely ecstatic when I saw Travis come out and support Shador. You guys, we're gonna go on a little break real quick. Give me a moment. Pause right there, and I will be right back. I gotta run downstairs. Somebody at my door. Okay, okay, I'm back. Thank y'all so much for waiting. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Oh my God. Oh Lord. I'm so glad I ain't fall on the steps. All right. How y'all doing in here? Hey, chat. So JB has joined us. Welcome, JB. I appreciate you for being here. He definitely cares more about those young men's lives over football. Definitely. As to why we have some of our favorite players right now who are healing. Other coaches probably wouldn't have minded if they played hurt or injured with those fractures and things like that. So on your screen, y'all, let's get into the mess, honey. You know I have to all I ain't gonna stir the pot, but I got something to say. Listen, I think I'm the one that set it off, to be honest. I was scrolling on X minding my own business. I'm be honest with you. And then while I was on X, I happened to see when Coach Prime tweeted and he put that tweet out and it just jumped in my face and was like, look, right? So I- since I saw it first and since I responded first, I mean I feel like I have a duty to come over here and talk about it. What y'all think? Listen, I'm gonna be good. I'm gonna proceed. I'm going to proceed respectfully on this. I'm gonna do my best, and I think I've been doing really well today. I have not cursed a lot. I just made certain statements, but I ain't cussed nobody out. Not yet. So thank God, thank God. So Coach Prime tweeted yesterday, my time, 12:25 p.m. So I forget what I was doing, but y'all seriously, I was literally minding my business when this came through, and I'm like, what? So Coach Prime say, what's really going on? My man, Duke the Scoop, is a free agent. I just heard this young brother is truly talented. He said, I just heard. He's a free agent, I just heard. This young brother is truly talented, smart, relational, and will work his butt off. Networks and media outlets, please check him out. On three sports. What's really going on? God bless you, my brother. Hashtag Coach Prime. That's right, Coach Prime. Put it out there. So here I go with my overreacting self. Y'all know I can be extra sometimes. But I said, wow. Is this because he supports you, a black head coach? First RG3 and now Duke. We see the pattern. We definitely see and see in my line of work, I look at data all day long. I look at analytics, all of that. So I had to throw my little PowerPoint up in there and let them know I'm taking notes because the truth is this: how, what kind of person that continues to do the same thing and actually thinks that people don't see the tactics, people don't pick up on your patterns of doing things. So after RG3 had that exchange with, you know, Paul Feinbaum, it was downhill from there. I think somebody said that wasn't the reason why he left ESPN, but that's the way it appears. That's the way it appears. Until I know differently, send me the footage. Send it to me. But it appears that when Paul Feinbaum, I mean RG3 put Feinbaum in his place about Coach Prime in Colorado being relevant, He was out of ESPN. I could be wrong. Let me know in the chat. So yeah, all that was going down yesterday on the Twitters. Twitter was in shambles. The content creators was eating. The people was eating, honey. Coach Prime fed the internet. Listen, I bet nobody else will never say Colorado is not relevant unless they just want to be a laughing stock. Because it's been come on, y'all. It's been a slow news day around here for weeks. As long as Colorado is winning, the timelines are boring. Meaning the hateful, whack media don't have nothing to talk about because they don't want to say anything good about Coach Prime or CU football. So yesterday, Coach Prime set it off. He set it off, honey. He had the is it mitigated all, unmitigated all, but he had the audacity to give his full support to another brother. And I wouldn't say he weaponized his following. No, he informed us that the bull junk was happening behind the scenes. And I appreciate him for letting us know because I'm gonna be honest, I might be one person out of a million. I ain't never watched On Three Sports in my life until Duke got on there. And the more I started following and reading the comments, there are many people that was in the same boat. They have never supported On Three Sports until Duke got on there. Philip Dukes, right? So, like I told you, people will use you up as long as it benefits them. And when you don't play the game, like Cam Newton was trying to coach Shador into doing, they cut you loose. Be it respectful, be it civil, be it a bad breakup or termination, they cut you loose. So apparently, after Philip Dukes did his experience, his video experience on what he experienced and how it impacted him to visit Colorado and experience everything there happened to be a rift in his workplace, I'm assuming, right? And like I told y'all, as long as we don't act friendly to each other, as long as we are submissive to mean, hateful people and narcissistic leadership, they love us. But the moment, and what I can't stand is to see a black man emasculated. Listen, you ain't gotta be at war with nobody. I don't want y'all to risk your freedom for nobody. But don't sit there and let nobody handle you like you are not who you are. So the best thing you can do at some point, even us as women, those of us who have a lot to lose, but still our dignity means more to us. The best thing you can do is, you know what? Hey, you know what, beloved? I'll send you an email. I'm good. Sometimes and there have been times I ain't saying nothing. After a meeting, get up and I just and I'm in the workplace for 14 years at this point, but I've had to sever partnerships based on people not knowing how to handle me. Because you ain't gonna handle me, but you will respect me. You ain't gotta like me, but you will respect me. And I'm not gonna keep fighting you about this respect thing because if I don't talk to you like that, don't talk to me like that. And if you want me to respond to you with respect and graciousness, I suggest you have a different tone about whatever it is you want to talk about. So to the men down there out there and y'all hold it down, y'all at work, we know you gotta pay bills and families to take care of. But don't be letting nobody do to you. It's a way to speak up and still maintain your dignity, your self respect. And at the end of the day, I'm telling you right now, there are people who will respect you more when you stand up for yourself. You ain't got to punch nobody in the face. You say, even when Jake from DNVR is a guest, I don't watch. I just wait for him to say what he talked about on their show. Come on now. Listen, we know there are some people who are covering Colorado content that are pandering to the masses of Coach Prime supporters. Y'all are smart. Y'all know what I just said. We know that there are some content creators who do Colorado content who pander to the masses of Coach Prime supporters. And we can see the inauthenticity. We can see it. I don't care who go on somebody's platform. I ain't going over there. I can't. It's like my appetite can't handle it. So y'all gotta do it for me. I can't eat this. Can you eat my plate of food? Can you do it? Just tell me how it tastes when you finish. I can't do it. My daddy mess with me all the time. He said, if you close your mouth, you might get a husband. If you don't listen, I can't be quiet. Thanks, Zeno. So some of those platforms on them shows, I catch a clip here and there when other people show it, but I can't do it. But for Duke, when it comes to Philip Duke, I don't have a reason not to enjoy his content, enjoy his analysis, and what he brings to sports entertainment. The brother is well spoken. He presents himself well. He has a great network of resources in terms of the football programs and individuals that he knows, and he has access to players at different schools. Why would I not trust what he has to say? And I can relate to him. He looked like somebody in my family. He looked like people that I know. And that's not being a certain type of way. That's normal. So don't let nobody make you feel that you are supposed to support certain people because they talk about Colorado football. No, you have to win me over. My fan base is growing very slow because everybody can't take my talk. I get it. But I'm also the type of person that if I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna address the elephant in the room and then we can have fun. We're gonna have fun. I can't wait to get to 500. And the players like talking to him. He's very intelligent. They don't want to talk to them. Other people, no, because ugh, you know how um stressful it is talking to somebody who does not understand your mannerisms, your lingo, your a lot of decisions you make based on who you are, what you've experienced, what your family's experienced, and how you see society because they deal with you. Imagine being a woman, a black woman, walking across the walkway from the store to the parking lot. You're going one way, and another woman of another race is coming towards you, and she hold her purse like you gonna take her purse, ma'am. They don't just lock their doors and hold their handbags tight when they see brothers. They do it to women too. So a conversation is the same. I'm not gonna sit here and have a conversation with you, and I have to explain my culture, my upbringing, and everything so you can get it. Just let me talk to the person who understands me, and you sit there and take notes. I'm just giving it to y'all real straight how these young men are when it comes to people that look like them. Apparently, clear mainstream media don't get it. Thank you, Cash. So with that being said, so when all hell broke loose with Philip Dukes and Coach Prime putting that tweet out there, here come one of the head plantation masters. He done came out and said, Coach Dion, with all due respect, as my mother and father told me growing up, which was a dig, mind your own plate. Dukes and I had a great conversation this morning about what was best for On Three and his career. We are good and have a plan. Woo, honey. Does that sound familiar? When that lady told, hold on one second. When that lady told that brother to shut up and dribble. So now the new term is mind your own plate. He said, as my mother and father told me, as if Coach Connie and Coach Prime had two fathers. He had his real father and his bonus dad. I'm pretty sure they taught him well. That's why he's where he is today. So he's implying that he wasn't taught nothing. First of all, that's the way I see it. Then say mind your own place. So he want him to shut up. See, this what I'm talking about. This what I'm talking about. Mm-mm. Don't do that. I don't say what I had to say about these people, but yeah. So he had to come out and put his little plantation uh leadership on display. So here I am again, all up in the comments. Sir Duke, sir, Duke and Dion are our business. Listen, I decided that I'm going to have just as much audacity as they do on Twitter because these people are wacko on the internet, and they will comment to you from a fake account. I don't even respond to them, but they're weird and they are out of control. But so since you want to try to put Dion in his place, let me educate you, sir. They are our business. That's his brother. So what Coach Prime did is what I'm um always wanting to see others do for him. Coach Prime is such a great man with a big heart, and he looks out for everybody around him. And it just it nags at me that when he's attacked, I don't see the same support from his peers. And when I say peers, I mean his celebrity counterparts. You know, maybe he don't want them to. That could be the case, but it's hard to sit there and see your friend be picked apart, persecuted, and dragged all over the media, and it not bother you, or you, and it don't compel you to come to their defense in some type of way. So if I don't do anything else here on YouTube, so JB said, you said, doesn't he sound like a certain head coach that said something about upbringing? Oh yes, oh yes. That's the way I took it. So that's going to be the ongoing dig when it comes to people, you know, trying to stun Coach Prime. And that particular head coach, even though they see him as a black man, do he call himself a black man, or is he like ambiguous? Because he relates to the other side with all of that, you know, respectability politics that he uses. See, that's what makes it even worse when it's us who are heavily influenced by another culture. So we start to use respectability politics on one another as if it's your job to teach me and put me in my place for them. And see, I'm going off. I'm going off on another tangent. But yeah, he definitely sounds like that guy over there at CSU. It's you said it's funny because On Three makes their money on mining other people's plate. So I'm confused. Absolutely. And not only that, they have never been. They're saying kind things about you now, but they were all with the shenanigans of kicking dirt on Coach Prime and talking and dropping people's stars. Is it them or 247 Sports? The moment a player commits to CU, they take away their stars. See, before I go, let me say this in closing. You will understand, for those of you who may be listening and don't understand what I'm saying, I need for you to Google or go find the book called The Willie Lynch Letter. And then you will fully understand why they feel like they can handle us a certain way is because they know that embedded in our genetic code is division and separation. And all they have to do is tap into that, and we will be whatever robot they want us to be. So the fact that they could not keep Philip Dukes and turn him against his brother became a problem to On Three. They couldn't make Philip Dukes and turn him into a Stephen ass Smith. That became a problem. So they were trying to hoping they can create their own Stephen A. Smith over there on three that ESPN has made Stephen A into. How and our brother denied that. He rejected it. I hope he did. Don't let nobody son you. I love to see y'all stand up and be the men that you all were created to be. For those of you who study the word of God, it says God created you in his image and his likeness. And I don't know a God that is weak in any way. Okay? So be who you are. You can be cordial, you can be respectful, you can be civil, but don't ever let nobody challenge you like that. That is why we have to have more than one stream of income. I ain't telling nobody to quit their job. Don't be that dumb. But you have to continue to make n- um, resting places and safety nets of income that when people present who they are to you, and you know, no matter how long you stay and how good you work, is not going to be better, you can get up from the table. Listen, I I don't want to say I'm the queen of walking away, but I definitely am the queen of letting the person know what you're not gonna do is, with all due respect, ma'am, sir, y'all. So let us all continue to work on more than one stream of income because it is when we depend on when a person knows that they are the reason why you eat and sleep and can live comfortably and they can snatch that away and affect your lifestyle at any given moment. They're gonna do that. They're gonna dangle that carrot in your face. People for a long time at my job didn't know nothing about me. And all of a sudden I got a promotion. And now everybody is curious. Where does she live? What is it like? And I'll be damn. One day, I was coming out of my gates, right? You can kind of see somebody's coming in on the inside, and I was on the out, going on the out direction. And I was coming out of my gates, and the car must didn't see that there was a car headed out. So when the out gates opened to let me out, a car tried to proceed in the wrong direction and was coming towards my vehicle. Lo and behold, it was a co-worker's vehicle that must have Googled me or must have found out what area of town I live in. And I played it cool. And the way the driveway is that once you come out of the gates, there are two lanes. You can turn left or you can turn right. So the car couldn't come in. So it turned around and proceeded to go out. So it was in front of me and happened that we were going in the same direction. So it just sat there. And I could see the person in the driver's seat looking and moving around. So I just figured they were on their phone. So I pulled up to the side of the car because it had dawned on me that's so and so's truck, right? I mean, what the hell they doing in my over here? Because where I live, you wasn't in my side of town. You ain't mistakenly been over here. You came looking, right? So I pulled up on the side of the car, and baby, that truck pulled up out of there so quick. I played it cool. The moment I got to my office, I went straight to HR. So and so was trying to access my gates, and I need to know why. But people just do weird stuff, y'all. Weird stuff. Always work on securing yourself. Always. And with that being said, there's a lot going on in these streets. I pray that, Coach Prime continues to be covered in the way that he is. And we continue to support him because it's the moment that we don't support him is when the enemy gets real bold, real bold. And for those of us that do and we show up, just know that we're the voice that he can't be. If you're saying something terrible, they'll let you know. They will definitely let you know. I want to thank you all so much for joining my show today. It's been a while. I hope I wasn't too rusty. I love you for your support. And hopefully I will see you all in the next video or in the next chat. Thank y'all. Thank you. Y'all have a wonderful day.